Hello and welcome back. This week we're going to have a look at this R759 Hall class locomotive with R760 tender. Now she's named the Albert Hall, but the old nameplates have come off and they were in the box. And I got this model, I think I said in the earlier video, of the Shildon Model Railway Club exhibition on the 2nd of June. I've not done anything with her. I'm not going to do a how-to on how to service, but we will have a look at it a little later on the layout. Now, these wonderful Albert Hall models in this BR livery, these came along in 1966. They were new to the catalogue, and there were Hall models available in the range until 1977. So let's just have a look at the old 66 catalogue, the year she showed up. We saw this catalogue relatively recently. She appears on page 2 of the old catalogue here. Just look at that, sitting next to the old High-Mech as well. There's new locomotives to be released in 66. And there's the old info about the model, R759. She's got the old Magnahesian, 460 Western Region Hall class locomotive, Albert Hall, and R760 tender. It says exclusive Magnahesian works through the rear pair of driving wheels and actually really does stick to the track, this model. Very powerful, complete with driver and fireman. Sadly, no driver and fireman left in the box when it came to me. So we'll just pop this to one side. So that was in the BR livery. And later in 1970, she was slightly changed and she was offered in a G.W.R livery. This catalogue cover is quite fragile, so we'll just open it up to the correct page, number 6. And there she is on the page there in G.W.R livery. And when you see she's got a slightly different model number, R759G. Now look at that, it says she comes with alternative names. So I believe she was offered with alternative names for a number of years. And then in 1971, I believe that it remained the same, a very glossy finish, and she got the noise effect, the chuff chuff sound in the tender. Just rotating the turntable clockwise there, and then we'll bring the old Albert Hall out of the engine shed, smoothly up to the turntable and onto the bridge, and we'll rotate counterclockwise. There we go, and away we go again. Going to go out through points number 17 and 18 there onto the inside line. Gentle stop, and we'll switch number 18 and we'll bring her back down the layout. Nice and smooth, coming past the engine sheds now. And we'll pick up the old rake of coaches standing at the station. So we've got a part Pullman service here today. We have those, and off we go, and a horse box on there for good measure. Absolutely effortless, this great looking train. So I've just taken her out of the box, and here's the paperwork that came with the model. Now here's the old instruction sheet. It's just a single printed sheet this time. We've got the old model number, R759, and the date of the 28th of the 9th, 1967 there. So we'll just have a swift look at that. It covers a number of aspects about the model railway system. It's not specific to the model really. So we'll just have a swift look down there. So it covers a wide range of their models, I think. We'll pop that to one side. And then the old servicing scheme booklet. Great information on the front here. Trying Hornby official service dealers are provided with one of these window displays. Great looking things, aren't they? We'll just have a look at a couple of the pages in here. So if we open this up, we've got a whole list of dealers here. Some in Buxton and Derbyshire, look. And then we've got over here some in Durham. They really are all over the place. Just look down there. I wonder if anybody recognises the names of any of these shops. So have a look towards the back of the booklet here. We've got some in Yorkshire. There's a lot in Yorkshire, isn't there? They're in Barnsley, Batley, Bradford, Bridlington, and the list goes on. And on the next page here, we're in Australia. Just look at the dealers represented here in Australia. Really is a terrific little book. It makes the imagination run, doesn't it? When you see all of these names in, well, these places are certainly far away from me. Here we go, in Canada. So really is terrific. There we go, in New Zealand. Whole bunch of names there. So we'll just pop that to one side. And here's the old model. Now, as I said, it needs a little bit of attention. As I pointed out before when we saw it, she doesn't have the old nameplates. I was lucky to find those in the box, so I've got those to put on. And the tender is pouring out remnants of orange-yellow foam, which I've got to get cleaned up. And then looking at the locomotive itself, the wheels, and I'm certain that the motor needs a little bit of a clean. You can see accumulations of fluff and dust and greasy oil build up everywhere, so it just needs a little attention, and possibly a coupling on the front there. It doesn't really need one. And then we've got a little bit of glue where somebody's had something stuck to it. Storming around the inside line now at full express train speed with a great big smile on my face. Absolutely great fun. Now as she goes into the first radius curve, we could lose a little power. We've got sleeved wheels and open axle boxes on all this rolling stock today, but she's making quite light work of it. Great sound, that motor. And off back past the engine sheds again there. I'm going to have a great view of them as we come across the top. And that little green industrial locomotive sitting there just by the signal box. So I've just removed the old securing screw from the bottom of the tender. It seems to be threaded right the way along its length. We'll just put that to one side, and I have noticed a couple of other things. That the old drawbar, the pin that holds it to the base there, has just come away, so that's just a simple fix with some glue. And talking of glue, it seems to have had a member of crew fixed there, perhaps as the evidence of glue from the past there. So we'll see if we can clean that up a little. And those wheels, they definitely need some attention, don't they? They are really, really filthy. So we'll just lift the old tender top off, and you can see the foam coming out of there. So we'll just lift this off carefully and just put that to one side. You can hear that weight moving around in there. Just look at that. It's partially stuck to the inside of the tender there. We'll pop that on its side, I think. And now we can see the base of the tender. We've got the weight there. That's what's been moving around. That should lie on there, and that foam should have held that in place. You can see that's just disintegrating. So I think we'll have to get all of this cleaned up. We'll just take that drawbar out of there. And you can see that the little plastic pin there, which is part of the top of the tender, has just come away. I don't know whether we can get that in focus. So luckily we've got that. That should glue back into place quite easily. So we'll just pop that to one side. So I think I'm just going to get rid of this horrible piece of foam. We're just going to open points number 7 and bring them round onto the outside line. Now that horse box was R123, available in 1955 to 71, coming through there really nicely. We've got the Pullmans there. We've got R328, the brake, available in 1960 to 73, and then the Pullman First R228, that was available slightly earlier from 58 to 73. We've got the chocolate and cream 9-inch coaches there. We've got a brake R329, a composite R330, and the old restaurant coach R331, and they were all available between 1960 and 62, just quite a short time in the catalogue those. Storming down the incline now. Listen to the motor and the sound of these coaches as they go by. So I've got the old tender back together, and you can see in the inset picture there I've installed some new foam there to deaden the sound and hold the old weight in place. Wheels are in good shape now, given those a good clean, got all that greasy build-up off them. You can see underneath there, if we have a quick look, we can see Triang's name. and then built in Britain. I've got the drawbar reinstalled correctly, so hopefully that glue will hold. If it doesn't, I've got another plan in mind there, perhaps a screw if really needed, but I've had good success gluing those back together before. Again, it's all fairly tidy. It was just fairly dusty, and I've removed some of that glue there, and it doesn't look too bad. I think it's a very pleasing effect now. That's all cleaned up. Great looking tender. We'll pop that down to one side. Now I've taken the old securing screw out of the body and removed the top. We'll have a swift look at the body moulding. There she is, fairly tidy inside, so it doesn't seem to be any damage really. And we've got Triangle Hornby's name there and the model number R59, and built in Britain. We can see the effects of overspray here on the inside of the chassis. Fairly tidy, nice wire handrail. We can see all that excellent cab detail in there. And the lining seems to be in pretty good shape, apart from this little missing part of silver there, but I think we can live with that. And as I say, I will reinstall those nameplates at some point. Smoke box doors in excellent condition, and the old hole slit there through the front of the body there, and she slides onto the chassis. The old separately metal fitted part there on the top of the old chimney. But I got lucky with a glue that was attached to there. That something had been stuck. I think something had been stuck on the other side. You can just see a faint mark that side as well. And I just picked it up with the back of a scalpel blade, and it just popped straight off and left it in pretty good condition. I'm very pleased with that. So we'll just pop that down, and we'll have a quick look at the old chassis. So the chassis done some work in its life, but the motor seems fairly good. So I have given it a little bit of oil just to get the motor back into running condition to test it, but needs a little bit more of a clean up. See the old cylinder blocks there have got a little bit of wear. I think some of that might have come from being sitting in the box, to be honest. And that front bogie missing its coupling, so we'll get another one on there. We'll get one fitted. The wheels definitely need a clean. They're all greasy and a great build-up of dirt. Again, we can see the old magnet for the magnesium there. Really does snap to the track, this model. So we'll just have a quick look at the other side. It really is a build-up of grease and fluff and stuff behind these wheels, so it's going to benefit from a bit of a clean there. But I'm not going to overdo it, and I'm not going to take the motor off. The magnet seems nice and strong in there, so there's no point separating it from its drive gears. And this plate here is a little loose, but I think I might leave it loose just so it just doesn't put so much stress in the bodywork. So that protrudes through that hole we saw in the front of the body there, and the screw holds it in there. So I think if there's too much tension here, it could cause a bit of stress in the body. I don't want to break the body, but again, I'm very pleased with this. Just passing under the elevated section there, and we're going to go through points number 5 near those tank wagons onto the old passing loop. Effortless through there, just enough clearance so we don't foul those tank wagons. And then we'll switch the points behind them. Smoothly around that curve. Great sound again, that motor. Listen to the plastic wheels on the track. Really great sound if you like that sort of thing. And through points number 4, we'll just see the old colour light signals change there. We'll see them change back again as she clears the points. There we go. Now storming down the outside line into the third radius curve, and let's see how she climbs again. Look at that. Absolutely effortless, and I think we'll bring her to a gentle stop. So there, I've got the old nameplate stuck back on. I think they look rather good. We're giving the body a bit of a light clean, nothing too drastic, so I don't want to cause any damage to it. There we go, we've got the nameplate on the other side, so we'll just pop that down. Now the old chassis, which I thought I was just going to do a bit of a clean up and leave the motor on it, I ended up completely dismantling it and giving it a thorough clean. It ended up everything off the chassis, just the wheels left on, all the wiring off, cylinder blocks off, hot soapy water. It was just so encased in fluff and oil, and just seemed to be seeping out from deep inside all the holes where the screws went. So give it a good wash, got it all back together, got those wheels cleaned on the old front bogey there, much better shape now. Coupling on there, and the motor didn't really need very much doing to it, just a little bit of a light clean. Got it all back together, and it runs really well. It took me a little bit longer than I was anticipating that, but it is nicer now. It's all clean and not sticky, and just oil leaching out of every part of it like we had before, but very smooth now, as we've seen. Now that's why you need magnet adhesion. Really excellent, isn't it? On steel track there, it's given us a huge advantage pulling that heavy load away uphill. Now she storms onto the old suspension bridge. We're going to be able to hear that terrific motor again as she comes past on all of those plastic wheels on steel track. A really great sound. I think we'll have one last little look at the old model on the rolling road there. Let's say the lining is in fairly good shape. It survives quite well. Lovely riveting on that tender, little suspension detail there. We swing round to the back here, we've got some excellent detail at the back edge of the tender. D-shaped coupling and metal buffer heads pushed into the buffer beam there. Great coal load, it is a bit on the crude side, isn't it? Plain roof on the locomotive there, brass safety valves and whistles. And that orange bands on the boiler look great, don't they? Metal top on the chimney there, smoke box door looks pretty good. The old lining on the other side of the tenders in great shape too, lovely metal handrail. As we move along, we've just got that slight loss of the old lining there on the side of the boiler on the handrail. So I think we can probably live with that. See those cylinder blocks have lost a little bit. I think that's from lying in the box all those years. And I think that's probably it for this week. And thanks again for watching, it's hugely appreciated. If you look back again next time, we'll have something else to look at from the Hornby range. Goodbye now.